Is it really true?
Same old thing, all over again.
You can't rely on
And that's the someone's gonna pay for that.
I couldn't care less. Been there, done that.
I'm not telling you anything new.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
That's all just gossip.
That's not what my husband thinks. That's an open secret. Someone's got to do the work. Who says things like that?
I must be crazy. What are you doing here?
Bad time.
Did you swim here? That's one way to get past the guards at the city gate.
You
I'm
don't
not
say.
telling you anything new.
Hey, Larish, you old scoundrel, how did you get here?
Really, how interesting.
I was able to escape to the Valley of Mines just in time, together with Lee and some of the other boys. You remember Lee, don't you?
You don't say.
Of course I remember Lee.
I got out of the colony with him then, just after the barrier was destroyed. He and his boys are now on the farm of Onar, the landowner. He made a deal with the farmer. He and his boys defend the farm, and Onar feeds them in return.
He simply talks too much. You don't say. Who says that's what my husband thinks? And it's gonna get even worse. Everybody knows my name.
I wouldn't be so sure.
That's all just gossip.
Halt!
What is it?
You aren't getting in here, my boy.
Why not?
Looking the way you do, you're sure to cause nothing but trouble here, boy. And we got enough rabble in the city. We have no use for people without money.
I'm bringing some herbs for Constantino, the alchemist.
Really? Then you won't mind showing me what you brought. Looks good. All right, in you go. But don't cause any trouble. Understood?
Get that from me.
Halt, stranger. I am Lothar, paladin of the king and humble servant of Innos, your lord. Our commander, Lord Hagen, has entrusted me with the task of explaining to all newcomers the new laws which apply to all inhabitants of the city.
Since people have started simply vanishing all over this town, everyone needs to watch out that they don't suffer the same fate.
I never knew that.
I have an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
The Honorable Lord Hagen is not receiving anyone.
I can't help it.
Lord Andre, the commander of the city guard, is responsible for all issues pertaining to the common
Doesn't
folk.
surprise me.
Listen, the city is threatened by dragons.
That can't be true.
Nobody will learn anything
Another
from me.
lunatic. We have enough unrest in the city as it is. And without some dimwit scaring people with fairy tales about dragons. I immediately locked up the last person who was here telling dragon tales and sent him to the Valley of Mines with the prison transport. So mind your tongue. We can't use anyone here who spreads panic among the people.
That's all just gossip.
Somebody already reported the dragons here?
Yes,
Nobody ever asked for
the fellow's name was Diego. I think so in any case.
Know that.
I warned him just like you.
That was
But the
quite
lunatic
obvious.
just wouldn't stop getting on my nerves.
I'm not telling you anything new.
I have come to get the Eye of Innos.
Get
The
that
Sacred Eye of Innos. How do you know about that?
No, he insisted
You're
he
not a
knew
member
better.
of the Order.
A magician told me about it.
touching that.
I don't know what his motives were when he entrusted one of the secrets of our Order to you. But he certainly didn't mean for you to get your fingers on it.
But
I don't want to hear any more about it.
will learn anything
First you
from me.
start with fairy tales about dragons, and then this.
Get that from me.
Incredible.
That's been known a long time.
the townspeople are simply disappearing?
Yes, it seems to be more every day. It's most annoying that the militia have still not been able to discover what's behind these strange occurrences. Small wonder that the town's inhabitants are very wary of strangers right now. So don't provoke them when you're in town, understood?
Wouldn't be so sure.
All right. Explain the rules of the city to me.
Thought of that himself.
First, the Honorable Paladin Lord Hagen resides in the upper quarter, along with his troops.
I'm no
That is why access to the upper quarter is allowed only to honorable
Really
citizens.
deserve that.
Second, the town hall in the upper quarter is now the command post of the paladins. Only the paladins themselves and members of the militia have access to it. And third,
to the wrong people.
whoever is accused of a crime must exonerate himself with the commander of the militia. Any questions?
Nothing surprises me anymore.
How do I become a citizen of the town?
Get that
Only
from
those with regular jobs will be considered citizens of the
That's all
town.
just gossip.
But don't think that you'll be admitted to Lord Hagen just because you're a citizen of the town. As a citizen, you have access to the upper quarter, nothing more. Only as a member of the militia will you have access to the town hall.
Where can I find work?
You'll have to apply as an apprentice to one of the masters here in the lower part of the city. As soon as a master accepts
That
you,
was obvious.
you are a citizen of the town. However, the other masters must agree to it. That's the custom here in
Will it
Corinthus.
ever change?
If you were thinking about looking for work in the Harbor District, forget it.
So sure.
The scum of the city live there.
He doesn't see
Don't
that.
even go there. You would regret it.
But he knew that all along.
How do I get to the upper quarter?
Is it really
Say, are you listening to me at all? You're not a citizen of this town. You can save yourself the trip. The guards won't let you in. The entire area behind the inner gate is off limits to you.
Never asked for my opinion.
How do I get accepted into the militia?
By express command of Lord Hagen, only citizens of the town will be admitted into the militia.
I see.
He never
If
would've
you
thought
want to
of that
know
himself.
more, speak to Lord Andre in the barracks.
Didn't get that from me.
What do I have to do to get armor like yours?
What? You aren't even a member of the militia. You're not even a citizen. How can
Never
you
would've
even
thought of
think
that
of being
himself.
allowed to wear the armor of a paladin?
I can't
Only
believe
a
that.
few militia soldiers, those who have performed extraordinary deeds, have been granted that honor so far. If you want to be a
Can't go on like
paladin,
this forever.
you have a long road ahead of you, my
But
boy.
no, he insisted he knew better.
Where can I find the commander of the city guard?
Lord Andre can be found in the barracks at the other end of the
Learn
city.
anything from me.
Where can I spend the night here?
If you're looking for a place to sleep, go to the hotel directly across from the barracks. The paladins pay for the lodging of all travelers who come to the city. The traveling traders from the marketplace are also lodged there.
I've got to go.
Why won't they listen to me?
If I hear one more time that you are telling people here about dragons, you will be in big trouble. Do I make myself clear?
That's been known a long time.
Where did you pick that up then? Halt! No one may enter the storeroom!
Thought of that himself.
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the King's army.
Will it ever change?
ask for my opinion.
Hello, stranger.
Don't
You
tell
must
me
be
you didn't
hungry
know
and
that.
thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
So why won't they listen to me?
I was actually on my way to see the
Nobody will learn anything
paladins.
from me.
There's little chance of that. Since the paladins made themselves at home in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there
Nobody will
anymore.
learn anything from me.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? No, I don't have much say here myself.
would've thought of
There
that
are a few
myself.
people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards. Mateo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
Not my problem.
Where can I find Mateo?
Hardly know.
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
What about the other influential citizens?
The merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street
really not
are the
my
most
problem.
important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Mateo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
I'm not touching.
I need some money, and I'm looking for work.
I've heard that Bosper has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
Forever.
What do you have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore. And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
Tell me more about the peasants' revolt.
It's quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases. But now comes the best part.
Don't tell me.
They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries. The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony. And their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible times.
I can't take care of everything.
Show me your wares.
We can only wait and see.
Everybody knows by now.
Anymore. Where did you pick that up then?
That's not what my husband thinks.
Wouldn't be so sure. I can't believe
Hey, you're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that.
From me.
I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's
a
behalf.
thing or two.
What can you tell me about the militia?
Anything new.
One of the paladins has taken command, a certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway, but you won't be officially admitted.
Enough trouble.
What else can you tell me about Lord Andre?
He has taken over the position of judge as well. If you cause any trouble in this town, you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
That's really not my problem.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
That's really not my problem.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
So sure.
You listen to the wrong people.
What can I do for you?
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather, still unused. Interested?
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to this city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
The paladins seized your goods.
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
I don't see why I should even try.
You're probably right. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away. Because they have their orders.
So can you help me get into the upper quarter?
It seems to be really important to you. The question is, how important is it to you?
What are you getting at?
I can help you. After all, I'm one of the most influential people here, but it'll cost you.
How exactly can you help me?
Quite simple. I'll use my influence to see to it that one of the master craftsmen here takes you on as an apprentice. As such, you'll practically be a citizen of the city and can enter the upper quarter. Besides which, you'll earn something while you're at it.
Where could I sign on as an apprentice then?
Basically, with any master here on the main street. That would be Harrod the Smith, Bospa the Bowmaker, Thorben the Carpenter, or Constantino the Alchemist. One of them is bound to take you on. But it's important that the other masters agree. That's always been the custom here in Corinus.
How do I get the approval of the other masters?
You just have to convince them. Go and talk to them. But if more than one of them is against you, you don't stand a chance, so behave yourself.
Why don't you take me on as an apprentice?
I would, but the other masters wouldn't agree. I just recently took on another apprentice.
Is there another way to get into the upper quarter?
Perhaps. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
What are you asking for your help?
100 gold pieces.
You shark.
Take it easy. It isn't your gold I have in mind.
But...
in principle, it's my gold. Gritta, the carpenter's niece, hasn't paid what she owes me in ages. But the little brat is constantly running around in new clothes. That means she has the money. I'd like to beat it out of her. But Master Thorben, the carpenter, is also a very influential man. Get me the money and I'll help you.
Where can I find this Gritta?
Like I said, she's the carpenter's niece. His house is down the street, the last house on the right before the smithy.
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Corinus, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
I've come about Gritta.
My niece? What's your business with her? This isn't about money, is it?
She owes 100 gold pieces to the merchant Matteo.
Tell me this isn't true. Ever since that little piece of work moved in with me, I've had nothing but trouble. She's in debt with practically every single merchant in town. I had to borrow 200 gold pieces from Lamar, the moneylender, just to settle her debts. And now this. Gritta should be in the house. Go ahead, ask her. But I tell you this, she doesn't have a single gold piece.
We shall see. What do you know about the paladins?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they've withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Do you know anything about the Peasants' Rebellion?
Rumor has it that Onar the landowner has hired mercenaries to keep the king's troops from breathing down his neck. He was probably tired of having to throw his harvest along with his livestock at paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. Onar's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
What if I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters here?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Yes, a most humble servant, Master Thorben.
Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
And what happened?
His name is Elvrich. He's my nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Where is Elvrich now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
How long has it been since you saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Have you reported that to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work, but I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in Corinus without a decent job.
Is that so?
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Gritta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorben.
Matteo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband.
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
Then we'll simply sell a few of your togs. I'm sure you've still got a bunch of stuff in your closet.
How dare you, uncouth lout. All right, here, take the gold.
See, that wasn't so hard.
And now will you please leave my house? What else do you want? You've got my gold. Go away.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
And? Did she cause any problems?
None to speak of.
Good. You've held up your part of the deal.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
Show me your wares.
It's a bad business.